Hey, Trish Vander Mooren, High Desert Homes, bringing you a market update for the month of July in the area that I serve. And you know what area I serve because you're on my channel living in Victorville. So it is the High Desert, Victorville and surrounding. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, all of the things, hit the bells. And by all means, if there's something you want to know more about, make sure you send me a message. All right, let's talk about what's most important. So when I'm talking about market update, I'm looking at interest rates. I'm looking at if you're a seller, how long does it take to sell your home? If you're an owner, did you gain equity year over year? What's that look like? If you're a buyer, how many new listings are coming to market? You know, what's going under contract? You know, kind of understanding what your competition might be if you're looking to buy here in the High Desert. So let's talk about what's most important, and that is going to be interest rates, because I'm sure you've seen them. 6.34 today, and FHA and VA, hold on, you've got a 5 handle, 5.75. Now our interest rates are the lowest they've been since May of 2023. We literally took a little bit more than a 50 basis point drop over last week. Why did that happen? Why did we take such a big dip in interest rates? Well, I'll tell you, we had jobs reports come in last Friday, and all the week we had 3 different reports. And the biggest was showing that we have unemployment that is slightly ticking up, more than the expectation. And the amount of jobs created was less than they expected. So they're seeing some pain in the job market. And if you're looking for a job, you're feeling it. I know it's out there. I'm hearing a lot about it, but that is they're seeing, this kind of inflation and what's going on with our market. Are people starting to spend a little bit less? Are they having reasons to spend less? And that's going to bring down our inflation, like to stop that upward pressure, right? So that means Federal Reserve is feeling pretty strongly that they can now drop the federal interest rate. Now, there's talk that's going to happen in September, and some are thinking 25 basis points, some are thinking 50 basis points, which in my opinion would be a little bit extreme since we haven't had any cuts whatsoever, and now we're going to cut 50 basis points. You know, they really want to see that the economy starts to get a little bit better, that people are stopped spending so much money, and we can get that inflation number on average 2%. So what's happening with our interest rates on mortgages, because the two aren't directly tied, but there are some relationships between that. What's happening with this major drop in interest rate is because the market is basically baking in what they think is going to happen in September. So they're basically looking at the numbers and they're saying, hey, we're starting to see some pain. We're feeling pretty confident that the Federal Reserve is going to drop the interest rate. So we're going to go ahead and drop mortgage rates. Now, what happens when they actually do in September? We get to September, if it drops or if it doesn't drop. If it doesn't drop, then we're going to see some changes on our interest rates. So that's basically in a nutshell. Now, I'm not an economist, but that's how I understand it, and that's what's really kind of impacting our mortgage rates. So great news if you're looking to buy a home. Even good news too if you're looking to sell, because more buyers are going to come to market. Now, one of the things that I talk a lot about, or I have been over the last couple of weeks, is what is really going on with our inventory, because we've had a very interesting year. And, you know, maybe we started the year and there were some sellers out there thinking they were going to get a certain, you know, we call it wishful pricing on their home. And maybe they sit on the market until they either get it or they don't. And they say, like, fine, I'll go ahead and cancel and we'll try it again next year, because they're not in a big hurry. So if those homes start to expire, cancel, put on hold, withdraw, what does that do to our inventory? Well, it takes from our inventory. So if we have inventory that's shrinking and we have mortgage rates that are going lower, the amount of buyers flooding in on that one home or these least amount of homes, is the competition is going to grow. And that competition then becomes upward pressure on our prices, which then brings us to higher and higher prices. And, you know, really, honestly, the best thing for our market is that we just kind of stay status quo for a while and kind of let the inventory catch up. So, you know, I wonder, like, is it really good that interest rates are coming down? What is that really going to do? And how's that going to show up? Now, Buyers have been on the sidelines for quite some time, and they're buying if they need to buy. Sellers are selling only if they need to sell. So we're having less new listings, less activity. We still have here in the high desert a really good amount of interest in buying homes and stuff. But I do have a lot of buyers myself that are sitting on the sidelines, and a lot of sellers that are doing the same. So thinking, you know what? Let's get through the election. Let's get through any of our uncertainties. Let's see what's going on with our inflation. Let's wait till spring. So, the only caution that I have to my buyers with that is, if you're waiting till spring, so is everybody else. So if we have interest rates that drop quite a bit and we have inventory that's shrinking, now we may have more inventory come in spring, because we typically do anyways, but maybe we'll have all those ones that expired move over to springtime. So now we have a decent amount of inventory, or we're still very, very below 2019 numbers here in our area. Now, nationwide, that is a different story. There are some states and some areas that are having more inventory, not a lot of them, but more inventory than 2019. Now, 2019 is kind of our basis as to, kind of normal in regards to how much inventory. So long story short, now is really a great time to buy if you're looking to buy, because you get ahead of the people that are sitting on the fence. You have less competition. Now you've got interest rates that are coming down. Now is a wonderful time to actually get in there. If you find the right home, jump on it. So that's my advice for buyers. But let's talk about equity. So if you own a home in Victorville, you saw a 5.7% increase year over year. So July over July, you've increased your equity in your home. Your home price went up 5.75. We're sitting at about a 452,000, a little bit more than that is average price in Victorville area. Now every area is a little bit different. If you want to know specifically about like Apple Valley, Hesperia, anything up here, or even down the hill, I can get you those numbers directly. Just send me a message and I'd be happy to send that to you directly. But we're seeing an increase. Sorry, my dog wants out. All right, back. We're seeing an increase in year over year. Now, what that looked like June over July was just a slight increase, about 6,000 actually in the average sales price. So not a lot. So month over month, we're seeing a little teeny bit increase, but year over year, July was 5.75. So there are areas that are flat, different areas. So where you live is very specific. So just know that I'm talking about the Victorville area and the surrounding. So new listings, we had 174, which is 10% more new listings than the year prior. So July over July, 10% more. But month over month, we actually saw just a little bit less new listings come in July versus June. So a little bit less. And then when it comes to under contract, we had 127 new homes go pending. And year over year, that's pretty much flat. Just a little bit lower, but pretty much flat, like 0.08. So, but with regards to month over month, we saw slightly more homes go under contract. Days on market is a big one. It's interesting because in July, we actually saw our days on market on the median go to 16 days. And that is about 6.7 days more, or 6.7%, not days, more than the year over year. But June over July, that is actually 9 days less. So homes are moving faster, and there's what I'm talking about here in our area. We still have a lot of activity, a lot of people buying homes. So there's still that good activity going on. So, again, it's all dependent on the area you're at. So if you want more numbers on your specific area, please let me know. Let's see. The other thing that I find very, very interesting is, like I talked about that expired and stuff. We actually had 37 when I took all the numbers for expireds, canceled, on hold, withdrawals for June. There was 37 of them that happened in June, but in July we had 80. So 80 homes came off of the market. 80 homes came out of our inventory in the month of July, because they either took them off the market for whatever reason. Maybe they weren't getting the price they want. Maybe they, decided to do some more work on their home instead and then come back. So it's really interesting, and I'm paying really close attention to what that looks like. because I think as we roll into 2025 and we get into that February, March spring market, I think we're going to have a pretty active market. All depends on how we finish this year. But again, my advice to you, if you're a buyer, now is a perfect time to jump in. You got interest rates that are much more appealing. You've got less competition because there is people still sitting on the sidelines and they're waiting for that spring market. I never advise you to sit there and wait. If you find the right home and the mortgage payment feels right, then it's the right time to buy. It's really just your own feelings. If you need help, if you want to kind of talk through what that looks like, maybe you just want to know really what the home buying experience is like. What's the process? What do I have to do? What are the steps? And what can I expect? If you want to get connected to a lender, like, I'm here for you. Like, that's what I do. That's what I love to do, is help you get into the market and build your net worth. If you're a seller, you're thinking about selling, I do that too. So if you want an evaluation of your property, not just the Zillow's estimate, if you want an actual clear to define market value of your home as of today, what it looks like, send me a message. I'll put together a nice package for you and send that over to you. Come to your house, take a look at all the wonderful things that you've done to your house. My name is Trish Vander Mooren, High Desert Homes. I work and breathe in the area of Victorville and surrounding. Those are the people that I help the most. That is my area. Send me a message. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you next week for our week over week update.